Yo, and welcome to the last week of science. Science never sleeps. It's either like Batman or it has a bad case of insomnia. Alright, let's get started. Most people don't like to be watched or videotaped all the time. It feels kind of invasive. I think that animals are the same way, but since they don't have human speech capabilities, it's hard to get them to say, hey, stop videotaping me. But it seems that our need to watch or capture everything on camera might have consequences in nature. Richmond Park in southwest London, home of the red deer, is asking its visitors to not get too close during the deer mating season. Adam Curtis, the park's assistant director, believes that the large crowds drawn in by the spectacle could disrupt the natural selection if they get too close. Since stags are trying to keep groups of females entertained to mate with them, they need to not be disturbed. If disturbed, then the dominant males don't get to mate, which can mean two things. One, that the younger bachelors get to mate with the females, which could affect the quality of the herd. And two, if the female deer have to come into season at a later date, they could have a longer birth period, thus making them more vulnerable for longer. Just think about it. If you are on a date and you're trying to be suave and funny and charismatic and there's just a crap ton of iPhones in your face just snapping away, you too would not be able to, woo the person that you're trying to woo. So just for your safety and the safety of the deer, just back up and maybe get a longer camera lens. Algal blooms. When they're not being turned into batteries, they are extremely dangerous. So dangerous that Dungeness and rock crab fishing has been shut down in California. The culprit, Pseudonychia, produces Domoic Acid that builds up in marine life. If humans ingest the toxin, they can vomit, have diarrhea and cramping, and in severe cases, die. Clarissa Anderson, a research scientist at the Institute of Marine Sciences at University of California, Santa Cruz, says that the warm temperatures in the North Pacific and along the West Coast are contributing to the persistence of the blooms. The blooms were expected to pop up in spring and even go through summer, but no one expected to see them through September. At this moment, the weekly sampling of the domoic levels on the surface of the water has shown that it has gone down in the last 2 months. But the problem is that the toxin can persist in sediments. If a shrimp is eating something with the toxin on the ocean floor, and then a crab eats that shrimp, well, that crab is bioaccumulating that toxin. Anderson says that the crabs will be able to clear out the toxin naturally with their kidneys, but they don't have good enough data to figure out at what rate that will happen. So it's gonna be quite a while before Red Lobster or your local market has Dungeness or rock crabs anytime soon. Fact, if you give me anything with sugar coating on it, 7 out of 9 times I'm gonna like it. Sugar coating to me is synonymous with good. But it seems that I'm gonna have to start rethinking that. Aspergillus fumigatus, a fungus that we breathe in every day, can cause allergic reactions, lung infections, and infections in other organs for people with weakened immune systems and lung diseases. The reason is because of the cell's sugar-coated armor, which protects it from white blood cells. Donald Shepard, the director of the Division of Infectious Diseases at McGill University Center, and his team are trying to create medicine that breaks down the fungus's sugar cell wall. When first exploring the fungus, they compared it to other less pathogenic Aspergillus species. They found that a particular sugar in the fungus's cell wall outwits the host's immune system. So when they manipulated A. fumigatus to create more of that particular sugar, they made it more harmful. This is all because it was able to escape the traps of the white blood cells. This is not something you want to hear when it comes to lungs and fungus. So I guess not everything that's sugar-coated is quite so delicious. Finally, I want to leave this off with a question. The National Institute of Health has put a moratorium on funding research that would create partial human chimeras with human stem cells. Partial human chimeras have been used in science for years. Rats with human tumors are being used to study cancer, and mice with human immune systems are being used for AIDS research. Now, none of them are the creatures from the island of Dr. Moreau, but the fear is that one day they could be, since researchers want to put in human stem cells in embryos at the early embryonic development stage. Some believe that if the stem cells get into the brain, then the animals will have human mental capabilities. Or that by putting stem cells into the animal at an early embryonic stage, the animals could begin to create human sperm and human eggs. Others believe that it's just downright immoral. I want to know what you think. Leave a comment telling me if you believe that we should do all of this research with stem cells since it would help a plethora of people, or if you believe that it is just downright immoral. Alright, so to wrap up, we learned that deer might need some space. No one's love for crab is larger than their love to not be sick with toxin. Sugar coating on a lollipop is good, and on a fungus spore is bad. Also, partially human chimeras, good or bad. Of course, everything that I talked about will be linked in the bottom box, or you can go on Yo Science is Awesome to also find it there. Please tweet me at Yo Science Is on Twitter, and don't forget to LSS, that's like, subscribe, and share. Like so that I know that I'm doing well, share so that other people can be just as smart and informed as you, and subscribe so that you can always be the first to know when I put up a new video. And as always, please have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!